the book Dragon's Lair.
Here comes the bride, all dressed in white.
It is much better. I'm glad that this royal family had a pool set up. The water feels so nice on my tail. I wonder what that advisor is doing. I thought they said that the royal that they take care of would be here soon. My liege, your majesty. Thank you for inviting me over. Your advisor, the rabbit, told me that I ought to make myself comfortable in the royal pool. Which, I must say, it's much better than greeting you in my wheelchair. Oh yes, you see, what with my mermaid tail, it is hard for me to move around on land unless I am in a wheelchair. It is the same for all other merfolk like me. It is easier for us to move around on land if we have a wheelchair. But I find it better that I greet you in my full strength, as it were. I am Princess Audrina of Kyrinica, and it is wonderful to meet you. Kyrinica? Ah, yes. Yes, it is my homeland, in Warsaw. It's one of the beaches there. It's very nice, very sunny and warm, and always pleasant. Maybe if we are to get married, then maybe we can honeymoon there, and I can show you the beauties of the deep, if you know what I mean. Well, what are you waiting for? Will you not join me for a swim? Do not be so modest, your majesty. I am fully clothed and decent. It's not like I'm asking you to go skinny dipping with me. Though if we are to get to know one another, since we are going to be married, skinny dipping is obviously a natural step. Oh, just thinking to myself, but will you not join me? Come on, I don't bite. Not that hard anyway. You don't have to be shy. I won't judge you. This is your swimming pool after all, so you have every right to join me. Or kick me out. Or both. Well, that is certainly one way to jump into a pool. It is a good thing you were wearing your royal swim gear underneath, I suppose. I must say it is finally wonderful to meet you face to face. I have been dying to get in touch with humans more. After all, if things between humans and monsters are going to be in peace, then it only makes sense that we ought to get to know each other more. Don't you think, Your Majesty? Well, I'm glad you agree. Oh yes, I received a portrait of you as well. You're very lovely to look at, though. Your portrait doesn't do you justice. I'm sure you probably heard that a lot today. Yes, I know about the other women, the other princesses that I am competing against for you, but I find humans, well, a lot of you seem to favor mermaids. I mean, we are in your artwork, your statues. You should come to Warsaw. There are plenty of mermaid pictures and statues. Yes, the Mermaid of Warsaw is my great to the 13th power grandmother, and she is still as young and as lovely as she was back then, and she is still able to wield the sword. In fact, I learned how to wield the sword from her. But Tell me, Your Majesty, what are some things you like? What are you interested in? Tell me about yourself, please. Ah, I see. How fascinating. Ah, so you are not the only one who likes the written words. I enjoy reading as well, when I'm not practicing my sword fighting, of course. You know, whenever I'm not attending my royal duties, I often visit the floating libraries. Yeah, the oceans are full of them. They're basically libraries for the merry people. What are they like? Well, they're just amazing. Think of them sort of like the things in the water that you use. I think it is to mark the distance or traveling points. Or I don't know. It's been a long time since I've studied your boats, but I think you call them the buoys. The buoys that bob and float in the water like a fishing bobber, but bigger. Well, think of them like that. They're often near the rocky shoals, but some are in the vast middle of the ocean. But they're essentially crates full of books, and they're all connected together by a string, and then they are all anchored in one place. And those are what the floating libraries are. And oftentimes you will find these bookkeeping merfolk, and you will find them often hanging books to dry, books that ended up washing overboard and into the sea. Oh yes, I've been there lots of times. In fact, when I was a little mer girl, I would often visit these floating libraries with my nana or my mother. I read lots and lots of stories that were very romantic and very sweet and always had happy endings. And then I got into my teenage years, and then I got bloody. I started reading the Brothers Grimms when I was in my teen years. And well, the rest is history. I've also read stories about humans, like you. Remarkable humans who do the nigh impossible. It blows my mind, and when I read these stories, it made me excited. Like there were people out in the world akin to me in a sense, with a sense of adventure, and I suppose that's one of the reasons why I became so excited to finally meet you. And maybe even fall in love with you. I know this treaty between humans and monsters is still rocky, but if I am being completely honest, I find you to be quite striking and kind-hearted. Tell me, Your Majesty, what do you think of me? Really? You think I'm pretty? You flatter me, Your Majesty. Truly, I do genuinely wish that we might get married. I believe we could be happy together. We could honeymoon to Kyrinica, and we could dance under the moonlight. I could show you how to swim, and I could cast a magic spell on you so that you might be able to hold your breath underwater, or better yet, breathe underwater, as I do. On land? Ah, yes, we mermaids are covered in a sort of mucus coating that allows us to breathe above water to an extent. If it dries out, that is when it becomes a bit difficult for us. And also, if we are up on land too much without proper how do I put this, moisture, then our gills tend to get choked up and it's hard for us to breathe. Actually, this reminds me of one of my cousins up in the oceans of the Danish kingdoms. Tell me, have you ever heard of a story called The Little Mermaid? Well, in my cousin's kingdom, that story is famous, and let's just say I have a lot of family members on that end of the tree that are very fond of tragic romances, and of course the ultimate being a human and a mer person, being the ultimate tragic love. After all, they are two species from different ends of the world. Yeah, my cousins are sometimes overdramatic. If you marry into the family, you'll get to see all that overdramaticness for yourself. But I do believe a marriage between your kingdom and Kyrinica would be wonderful. We can offer you a variety of culture. Like the pearls, our kingdom is quite cultured, and it would be interesting to see an intermingling of two very rich cultures, because you have things and experiences that no merfolk could ever experience, just like we have many things that are awe-inspiring and wonderful to humans. So I think a marriage between us would work. Plus, of course, I would fight for you to the ends of each ocean, to every four corners of the earth, and my sword at my hip is not just for show. I am a very skilled fighter, though you might not think it of me. My great to the 13th power grandmother taught me everything I know, and I've even wrestled a sea dragon or two. But if we were to get married, I would love you, and I would be able to protect you. And I would never let anyone harm you or ever let anyone come between us. Yes, I believe that if you are married to someone, then that is it, and you cannot cheat on them. That is my take. I am a romantic, but I am also loyal and faithful to whomever I fall in love with. And I hope that maybe it might be you. You will consider me greatly, just as you are considering the other princesses. Well, that is all I can ask, and I don't know what they've offered you, but I believe our two cultures could benefit greatly from one another, and of course our kingdoms would get stronger, and I won't try and bribe you or whatever else the other princesses might have done, but I don't know. At the end of the day, the only person who can make this choice is you, and if you choose me, that would make me the happiest mermaid in all of Kyrinica. And if you don't, well, it would hurt, I won't lie, but I'd like to be allies with you just the same. And maybe I could do what my grandmother did, and I could protect your family in times of need. Maybe. That makes me happy. Oh, you have to leave now? I understand. You have a lot to think about since you have been visiting with all these princesses, myself included. But, you know what? I enjoyed this time with you, swimming in the royal swimming pool. Maybe if we got married, we could take a bath together. That would be lovely. I'll let you go, but First, before you leave, let me see your forehead, please. Thank you, Your Majesty. Let no other woman kiss you on the forehead, please. And I look forward to hearing from you and whomever you choose at the end of the day. Farewell, my dear royal, until we meet again.